Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life, the podcast. You're listening to 5 Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. Today, I want to talk to you about a transformation story, the transformation of Sarah from doubt to success. And we're talking here about life pivot, how you can be going along very unhappy, just being content with your life, you know, and then something happens. You read a book, you reach rock bottom, something happens that make you decide that you no longer want to live like this. In Sarah's story, I'm going to show you what was her life pivot, but I know that my daughter has also had this life pivot. She did the same thing. She was on her way to become a psychology major, had her bachelor's in psychology. And then one day she read the book by Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom, and she was transformed. She did a life pivot. Now she is a political activist because that's what Mandela's story was about. So let me share Sarah's story, and hopefully it will resonate with you, and you also can have a life pivot. So here goes. Sarah had always been a dreamer, but her self doubt and fear of failure often held her back from pursuing her passions. She was stuck in a routine job that didn't fulfill her, constantly wondering if she had what it takes to achieve success. However, a series of events would soon pivot the course of her life. One day, Sarah came across the book by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. In the book, David shared how he was stuck in a dead end job as a roach exterminator, overweight and unhappy, until one day he saw a show on TV about the Navy SEALs. I just had an interview with a girl that says that she was on her way to having a career in criminal justice, and she saw fighter pilots and decided that's what I want to be. It's amazing what God used to be your fire starter. And that fire starter was something that's always in you, but it takes you throwing some gasoline or you lighting a match for it to come to fruition. So, for this story today with Sarah, it is about David Goggins and how he did a life pivot that inspired her. So, David saw a show on TV about the Navy SEALs, and he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. That one was in his belly all the time. And something put the starter on it, that TV show. Nothing is going to grab you if God didn't put it there, right? So, anyway, the problem with David Goggins was that he was 70 pounds overweight. And when he went to the interview for a Navy SEAL, the guy laughed at him because he had 6 months in order to lose 70 pounds. Like, really? I've been trying a whole year with Ozempic, and I've only lost 20 pounds. Can you imagine losing 70 pounds all natural in 6 months? It is usually impossible, but that's where mindset comes in. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And it is very true. You can even lift 3,000-pound cars. If your baby was trapped under it, the mind is an important thing, which is why I spend so much time talking about it. Anyway, getting back to Sarah, the book resonated with her deeply. It opened her eyes to the power of mindset and the possibility of transformation. Inspired, she decided, to embark on a journey of self-discovery and growth. We all need to be on that one because if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So, Sarah started by attending workshops, seminars, and courses focused on personal development and entrepreneurship. She began practicing mindfulness and meditation to quiet her inner critic and cultivate a positive mindset. You know, the inner critic, you can't do it. You're going to be broke. You better stay where you are. It's safe and secure. That inner critic, right? With each passing day, though, once she silenced her inner critic, her confidence grew and she started to believe in herself and in your abilities. So let's the first step, the fire starter. The second step was doing something about it, action, taking courses, learning, upgrading your skill. The third step, you got to believe in yourself because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. So she started to believe in herself. Armed with newfound knowledge and self belief, Sarah took the bold step of quitting her job to pursue her dream of starting her own business. It was a leap of faith, but she was determined to follow her passion and create a life on her own terms. Yes, when you can't stand being unhappy any longer, you are going to do something that you feel moves you in the direction of happiness. You're not going to jump all the way to the mountaintop, but if you're in process, if you are progressing, if you're on the journey, then you're going to be happy from the start. It's when you're stuck going down instead of up. That's when you get the depressive thoughts, and that's when you're unhappy. And nobody said it's going to be easy. The road to success wasn't easy. Sarah faced numerous challenges and setbacks along the way. But instead of letting them deter her, she used David's story as inspiration. The Navy SEAL training was brutal, but David Goggins persevered, one time wrapping up a broken leg with duct tape and running on it. Listen, I read that book and I was captivated from beginning to end. David Goggins' story, if you have not read the book Can't Hurt Me, I suggest you pick it up because, yes, you know, the story didn't end with him losing 70 pounds to get into the Navy SEAL. If you know anything about Navy SEAL training, it is brutal. Talk about, learning to tie rope underwater, running with logs on top of your head in the wet, dark. Yeah, and he had a lot of injuries. So this particular time, he decided that in order to pass, he had to strap up his broken leg with duct tape. Right. So, yes. So she embraced failure. She didn't have to go through any of that. I'm pretty sure she didn't have to run on broken legs, hold her breath underwater and tie knots and unloose them, those type of things. Her setbacks were nothing compared to what David Goggins had to go through to become a Navy SEAL. So she embraced failure as a stepping stone to success, knowing that each setback was making her stronger. With persistence, resilience, and a positive mindset, Sarah's senior care business began to thrive. She attracted clients who believed in her vision and passion, and her reputation as a skilled and caring entrepreneur grew. Before long, Sarah found herself achieving success that she had once only dreamed of. Put the metal to the pedal, hit the anvil every day, and success will be yours. But for Sarah, success wasn't just about financial gain or recognition. It was about personal growth, fulfillment, and living a life aligned with her values and passions. She had transformed her mind, transformed her life, pivoted her life, overcome her fears, and turned her dreams into reality. What an awesome story. Hey, I picked this story because if you are stuck in a dead end job, in a dead end relationship, this is the type of motivation you need in order to pivot and change your life. Sarah's journey from doubt to success serves as a powerful reminder of the transformative power of mindset. By challenging her limiting beliefs, she wasn't good enough, she couldn't do it, and embracing personal growth. You can do it if you learn, if you work at it every day, personal growth, right? And taking bold actions, going to the seminars, going to the webinars, right? She was able to overcome obstacles and achieve her goals. Her story inspires us to believe in ourselves, pursue our passions, and embrace the journey of self discovery and transformation. So, if this was for you, then I hope that you took some inspiration from it. Right. Pick up a copy of my book, Out of the Snares, The Story of Hope and Encouragement, and you will see all the times that I pivoted my life. Right. I have a book of two. So, not as maybe inspirational as David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, but nonetheless, I have walked the talk. I have transformed my mindset, pivoted my life. And this now I'm trying to encourage you to do the same. So thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of 5 Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. If you're inspired by this message today, I hope you would like it. I hope you would share it. And I hope you would subscribe to the podcast. So thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, namaste.